My name is Shrad. I'm the founder CEO of Vidoso. And Vidoso is a video marketing and repurposing platform. And we help B2B marketing teams scale their videos. We're going to be discussing the how, the what, the why of video marketing, like why videos have suddenly become so important. Why have they become a must-have? What type of videos do B2B buyers want? What type of videos create buyer trust these days? And really the how, which is how do you scale videos? How can you start repurposing your unscripted conversations, scale your video library? I've got with me Brendan. Brendan is the head of marketing at Goldings. He's been head of marketing at multiple companies. And he's going to share with us an exciting story of how he scaled a video-based customer advocacy community program at his previous company. Let's go into this. Let's start with why does video matter more than it used to? Video was always somewhat important, but in the last few years, it has picked up a lot of momentum. Some of the biggest factors are our attention span. TikTok started to gain popularity in the 2020s, and TikTok has really conditioned us towards short videos. And so what has happened as a result of that, not only did Instagram follow suit and YouTube follow suit, we have people who are watching more and reading less. Few people are actually reading long form white papers and guides. And even when they're reading, they're actually scanning. And the net of all of this is that our attention spans have really shrunk to 8 seconds, according to one of these studies. That's why video is important to deliver a message in a very short amount of time. And short videos matter to be attention span compliant. The second piece is the content noise. So we're all living in a very crowded world. And with AI, text content has become even easier to generate. And then AI is making it even easier to generate a lot of verbose, repetitive text content. So there's a lot of content noise. And video actually helps us stand out in these noisy markets. And part of it is because videos are memorable. And what makes videos memorable is the fact that videos engage all our senses. They are multi-sensory media type. And so we're able to recall videos much more than we can recall a piece of text. When you see humans talking and sharing their authentic stories, then they become memorable. And also short videos take time to create in terms of coming up with succinct, short messaging, which are impactful. So there's also effort behind creating and curation of these videos, and no surprise that videos are actually memorable. So they really help us break through the content noise. They are adapted to the modern attention span, and that's why they work.
Yeah, in the days of those highly polished customer story videos that have a backdrop and you fly and you get a video crew, those are gone. I think people want to see people that they know and trust and hear from them directly in a more authentic way. I think that's really what we're able to do now, is be able to produce content a lot more quicker, because we don't have those need and the consumers don't want those highly polished videos.
Yeah, authenticity really is the key here. And so if you start to think about, okay, well, what type of content and what type of videos does a modern B2B buyer want, right? So B2B buyers are, first of all, everyone's busy and they're looking at a lot of competitive products when they are engaged in a buyer's journey. The buyer's journey has become very complicated, very long. There are multiple people involved in it, multiple months, multiple years, sometimes in enterprise. And again, because of all this TikTok conditioning, and you're starting to see real people on video, on screens, you want to see real, authentic, transparent stuff, even from companies. So they're looking for authentic content, authentic videos from companies. And when it's authentic, when it's unscripted, that's when you also get the recall effect, the memorability effect, right? So 97% of B2B buyers report that videos where you feature real customers and real humans in semi-scripted or unscripted settings actually have a lot of impact, right? So the one piece is authentic. The second is self-educational. So, it's no surprise today that buyers want to self-educate about vendors' products and services. They're not ready to talk to sellers early on in the cycle. 76% of the buyers want to do their own research before they talk to sellers. 42% of the buyers consume 3 to 5 pieces of content before talking to sellers. And 55% of buyers are actually getting they want more content than vendors are able to produce. Vendors' marketing teams are understaffed, and it's hard to produce content across the buying journey to enable the buyer who wants to self-educate themselves, right? So self-education for different parts of the buying journey is another piece of important content pillar, right? And the third is social proof, which is content that is actually featuring your customers, talking about the ROI of a product, or customers who are actually talking about the benefits of a product, the value of a product. That's the content piece. That's the video piece that actually works. Because again, every market is crowded. So buyers are taking the shortcut, right? Buyers are not going to talk to every vendor, right? They're not going to take demos from every vendor. So they're trying to short circuit the process. And so 78% of the buyers are just choosing previously known products, which means if you've done a good job of brand awareness, then you are known and you are in the consideration set, right? And 70% of enterprise buyers are talking to product users pre-purchase, and you can short circuit that with right customer testimonial videos. And 88% of the buyers actually trust these online reviews and on video testimonial type content.
Yeah, and I think one thing too that may be overlooked in all this, because people consume the information, is around brand awareness. There's a lot of SEO impact too. Videos are often overlooked from the SEO impact of what they do to bring traffic to your site. And I think that's a strategy that being able to scale video in a lot of different authentic ways will allow you to drive more traffic to your site, get them more exposure to your brand and your product, and then having content that helps them self-educate, like product videos, etc., is only going to help, because nobody wants to talk to a sales rep if they can avoid it until they're ready.
Videos can solve a lot of your problems in terms of helping you stand out in crowded markets, helping your brand look bigger than it is, right? If you're an early stage company, you could do a lot more videos faster. And if you do that, then you look bigger than you actually are. You can punch above your weight class, and you can build a lot of buyer trust with video, again, because you have real people, authentic stories. And because of the multi-sensory nature of the video, it has a bigger impact and more lasting impact. And the other thing is LinkedIn has become the social channel of choice for B2B. And videos on LinkedIn get a lot more engagement, 5x more engagement, according to LinkedIn itself. And LinkedIn is also promoting their own video feed, and they have a For You video module now in the feed. So they're really promoting videos on social for thought leadership, etc. It goes hand in hand. So social is a great channel for videos to exhibit thought leadership and brand building. And as Brandon said, videos are also helpful in SEO discoverability. So not only through your YouTube videos, but also when you have videos embedded on your web pages, it improves their search rankability. It improves the dwell time. It drives more engagement. People may come to the page, but might actually watch that short clip on that page. So it helps it helps boost SEO discoverability. And also video has very high repurposability. And we're going to go into this in a lot more detail, which is videos and transcripts, your unscripted conversations that you're having in your webinars and podcasts and customer interviews and internal SKO presentations, etc., could be repurposed into multiple formats of content, short clips and other forms of content. Because we're living in this post-COVID era where a lot of the work is remote, and remote work and remote conversations are essentially videos, which could be repurposed into content. And that will help you meet the content demand of modern B2B buyer who's hungry for self-educational content.
Yeah, I think there's two ways to look at content, right? It's the external consumable content. There's also disparate workforces where they need to be onboarded faster, they need to be educated faster, and you can repurpose a lot of that video for internal purposes. And I think that is the core of what I think of Vidoso for me sees a lot of value. It's not just the external brand awareness, but the internal education component that can be driven from those authentic kind of real life conversations that you have every day.
Yeah. Yeah, internally too, right? If you think about whether it's external, your market, or your internal employees, everyone's micro learning and everyone wants to consume knowledge and information via videos. So if you can make your training content and knowledge sharing bite-sized and snackable in video, you'll get a lot more adoption and a lot more retention, and you'll achieve your goals of your internal training programs and product awareness, knowledge awareness, and so forth. So with that, let me hand this over to Brandon to share the story of how he scaled videos at Bootstrap.
Yeah, this has been a couple years now, but it was circa 2020, and we are trying to really get into a crowded, kind of mature market and trying to break through the noise to tell our unique value proposition. And we couldn't compete with budget resources or anything like that with the other vendors in the space. So we thought, how do we break through that noise? How do we provide content that people want to consume and in what format? And so the idea was to build a kind of series around people talking about best practices for doing X, account planning, forecasting, pipeline management for our use cases. And we really use that as a stepping stone to build a kind of a monthly reoccurring cadence to build a community around what we do and bring people to our brand and share great content from that videos not only in video form, but short clips on social, YouTube, etc., but also from long form content blogs, top 50 best practices to do X. And that really allowed us to not only scale our brand awareness, get into a lot of sales conversations. I had somebody tell me recently that Boost Up was in about every conversation and they couldn't figure out why so early. And I think this is a key strategy for that, is being where people are and how they want to consume information, and use people to tell your story and share unique content to your ICP. And some of the results that we look to scale is not only from the webinar clips and recordings and short segments to build out a masterclass series, to build out like a Revenue Mavericks focus on individuals and their achievements in the revenue space, but we also scaled our social growth as well. So it went from 0 to 400 plus G2 reviews. We scaled from 0 customer success or stories to probably 50, 60. And they were short, authentic conversations that we pushed out on brand awareness. The pain point was we didn't have Vidoso at the time. It was expensive to rely on external vendors. It's very time intensive, especially for a small team to execute this. And so it did take time and commitment away from some of the things I would have loved to do, but we saw so much value that we're willing to put that extra effort in. Now, I think that when I look at the future or what I'm doing now, and it's something similar. I'm building a program at GoLinks around HR Game Changers, a monthly thought leadership series focused on key topics and trends. And we used it actually, Vidoso, as of Thursday of last week to create 4 blogs, a post-event recap. We had 4 or 5 clips that we scheduled for next week to share on social, not only for LinkedIn, but for YouTube Shorts and different other formats. And that would have previously took probably 2 or 3 resources of easily 3 to 5 hours at minimum of work just to get to a point where you have something that's in a position where you can share it. And as a small team, as a growing team in the marketing space or marketing team, having anything that can help you scale quickly with less resources and less budget is only a value add. And so we're already using Vidoso to solve some of the gaps that we have on our marketing team today.
Thank you. Now, the challenge with videos is that video is very hard. Video editing and polishing is very hard. Those skill sets are very specialized today. And you've got your product marketing, customer marketing, content marketing, which is a core of marketing team. This group understands the messaging, understands the product well enough, but you've got the video editors who don't. This requires constant ping pong, and you have to go back and forth. It hurts velocity, time to market in terms of getting those videos deployed in your campaigns and programs. So that's the problem we're trying to solve with Vidoso, which is how do we create video agility and video automation so that marketing teams can deploy more and more videos and more campaigns and scale their communities and build thought leadership through their super users and advocates. And the key here, the secret here is that you likely already have the raw material to start building your video program and a short video program. A lot of the conversations today are recorded, right? There are some produced events like, okay, you had a conference, obviously there were keynotes and there were panel chats, or digital events like webinars and podcasts, your customer interviews. So those are the produced marketing events that you should leverage and reuse and extend the lifespan of the content coming out of those events, but also your recorded calls, right? So think about your QBR calls that your customer success is holding with your customers, and they are saying great things about your product, right? Think about the internal product demos that the product team is doing with sales on a cadence as they launch new releases. And all of those stories, right? Why did you win? Like the win-loss interviews. Why did they implement so fast? Why did they switch? Why did they renew, right? All of those stories are actually embedded and buried inside of these conversations. And then there are a lot of internal conversations where we've seen companies that are interviewing their subject matter experts, their product marketing managers, their product managers, their solution architects. They're doing workshops. They're interviewing their executives to get thought leadership out, their C-level executives. Sometimes they're inviting their customers, their customer advisory board calls, employee interviews. These are all the assets that you have at your disposal to start repurposing and finding content from all of these pieces here.
Yeah, the one that I thought was pretty exciting, and we just experienced it, but we didn't have Vidoso at the time, is we built a kind of a 60-second mash of great things that people said about us through hundreds of interviews. And we had to take little timestamps across all of these, which required people to look at them and then put them together. like you could scale that, right? Identify, Vidoso can clip those together. You can put it together very quickly, and something that would take hours, days, maybe even longer could be done really quickly. So I think just thinking about the use case and applicability is one thing that I think you guys should think about, or even like competitive intelligence. Every time a certain competitors mention, flag it, put a clip together for training purposes for new reps. For enablement content. Just wanted to share a couple of those examples as you think about not only the external brand consumption, but the internal applicability of a tool like Vidoso.
And wanted to show you a few things in the product and help you understand how you can start repurposing videos at scale. Think of Vidoso as your internal CMS for all your videos. Step one, all the videos are centralized in one place. So all your interviews, your customer stories, your webinars, your podcasts, your high value videos are in one central place. So you're not doing back and forth in terms of file transfer and copying video files and so forth. It's all in one place and you can organize it. The second piece is one of the biggest problems with repurposing long videos is that whoever's responsible for editing that video and finding highlights or clips may not be the person who understands the product and may not be the one who actually understands the domain. And so what they have to do today is they have to go and watch the whole video. And that takes too much time. And that's why you can't deploy as many videos as you would like. The way Vidoso makes it easy is, number one, it actually chapterizes the whole webinar. So it'll break a long webinar, a long workshop, a long podcast, a long customer interview into various chapters. So these are various important segments, and it automatically generates the title of the chapter, the summary of the chapter. It also extracts quotes and sound bites where there were stats mentioned, memorable phrases, insightful statements. So it really makes it easy for you to understand what happened in that long webinar, for instance. But you can also embed these chapters in your post-event follow-up, right? So as opposed to sharing an hour-long webinar, you can actually share them as chapters. And YouTube has democratized this. People are familiar with the concept of chapters now. So we are going from an hour-long video to, let's say, 5-minute, 6-minute chapters. The second piece is, going into short clips, right? So if you think about your social thought leadership programs, what you're looking for are clips that will, perform well. What our AI does is it basically cuts every long video into 6 to 12 short clips based on the insightfulness and the match with the company's messaging hierarchy, right? So our product understands your messaging hierarchy, your product, your keywords, your vocabulary, your use cases, pain points, and then uses all of that to pre-cut and pre-generate all of these clips. And then each clip gets a title, summary, and it also reveals the score of every clip. Every clip is also scored on the energy of the speaker, like how energetic was the speaker, what was the starting point, ending point, how good is the narrative, what is the story potential, what is the soundbite potential, and all of that is revealed back to you, right? To help you understand why a good clip is a good clip and help cuts down the time it takes, saves you a number of hours in helping you identify the top clip. So you don't have to go and watch the whole video. And then every clip is pre-hosted in Vidoso, right? So you can go ahead and actually start sharing the clips by simply copying the link to the clip. Your BDRs can embed them in their sequences. Your marketing team can embed these in the nurture sequences. You can also download the clip and actually upload it in LinkedIn, other social channels, embed these clips in your SEO pillar pages and website. So and this does not require you to publish this on YouTube and so forth, right? To host. It's all pre-hosted for you. And then while AI does 90% of the work, we also help you trim the clip even further, right? So you can trim the clip very easily by simply selecting various parts. So you can go ahead and you can say, okay, you know what? I want this part to be clipped. And you can actually clip it very easily. You can clip it and you can even remove it, right? So you can remove sentences that you don't want included in that clip, right? So if in a customer interview, the customer went on a tangent, rambled for a long time, use words or sentences that are not topical, that doesn't aid your message, you can simply remove that. And you can also remove big paragraphs. So you want to take an hour-long read, a 10-minute highlight, and you want to remove big paragraphs from that, you can do so too. So it really gives you the flexibility. And again, this does not require any special skill set. You can edit this simply by just operating on the transcript. And as part of the editing, we're launching the branding of your clips. So your intros and outros, your logos, your brand backgrounds, your captions. And what Vidoso will support is the ability for you to create a template. So you can go ahead and create different types of templates for different layouts. So you can choose a different layout like landscape, square, vertical, pick your captions, pick your logo, move things around. And you can save these templates, apply the template for your live clip, right? So it makes the whole sort of getting the clip ready for campaign really easy. It makes the clip ready to go in terms of marketing and branding and styling. And the last thing I want to show you is this, which is in addition to repurposing the video into chapters and clips, the product also generates text content automatically. So it looks at the video, looks at the themes within the video, and it actually generates a recap. And if it was a customer story, the recap will actually, it'll be formatted like a customer story. So these are structured, formatted recaps, stories for every video. And so you get that automatically. The system also generates other suggested blogs, right? So again, based on the themes that came up in the video, it actually generates fully structured, fully written blogs. And you can use parts of it, or you can use the blogs completely. It's really up to you. The idea is to accelerate and be a co-pilot to help you execute on your content calendar fast. And the third piece it generates is the social posts, which is, again, based on different clips, it actually generates a few social posts for you to kickstart your social copy for those clips. And text content and clips get organized by various themes, right? Let's say you did a webinar on a particular topic and you add that into Vidoso, the system will automatically extract various themes, high-level themes. So you can not only discover those themes, but also discover the content within each of those themes, right? So this, again, accelerates your discovery of the content that you already have. And so you can deploy videos, social posts much faster. But if you also have a new campaign coming up and you are looking for video content for that campaign, say today videos are in multiple places, in Google file system, et cetera. It's very hard to search for the clips for your campaigns. Now, because Vidoso centralizes all the clips and videos and makes it discoverable and searchable, you can actually find clips very easily. And you can build the content for your campaigns very easily. There are two ways to try Vidoso. One is you can go to our website and just request early access and just punch in your email. And then we will respond back with the sign-up details to try Vidoso. Once you sign up, you can upload a few videos and start to use the custom clips. We are in post-beta program, so now you don't have to worry about pricing, and feel free to use the product. It's a design partner type structure where we will get feedback from every tool, so make sure that you're successful with your videos.
Perfect. If I wasn't already signed up, which I already talked about, I know I'd be signing up. Lots of video content, a lot of great content that can be generated from it. So I think it's a great tool that you've built out here. And like all good ideas, they start with a problem. And the problem was we need to scale content.